What is the best type of cardio to burn body fat, to shred body fat and lose weight? What type of cardio to do seems to be a very big grey area, even for some of the coaches that I give credit to, and there's not many in this industry that I think are good coaches, but even the people that are good coaches, everybody seems to struggle with giving advice on cardio. So in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to know when it comes to what type of cardio you should do to lose body fat. The first thing is the thing that I've seen everybody's missed straight away in the videos they've made about cardio. I don't understand how other coaches haven't said this to you, but I'm going to tell you what it is. And that's cardio isn't how you lose body fat. How you lose weight or how you lose body fat is with your nutrition. It's specifically eating in a calorie deficit. The way you do that is take the body weight in pounds, multiply that by 10 to 12 depending on your activity level, and eat that number of calories per day. The idea with the calorie deficit is the lack of calories that you're getting because you're eating less. Your body will then use the stored body fat as energy to support your everyday function, meaning that that body fat will start to be reduced over time. Cardio should be used as a fat loss tool, so it's just something a little extra that you can lose to speed up your fat loss, to get you to your goal a little quicker and a little bit faster. It's not actually how you lose body fat. It's the same reason why you see loads of people doing tons and tons of cardio, but they actually never lose any weight. If you want to learn how to build muscle or how to lose body fat, then subscribe to this YouTube channel. I do post videos on Mondays and Thursdays, and if you click that little bell as well, that will notify you when I upload those videos. Let's talk about what is the best cardio to do to increase your fat loss. And at the end of the video, I am going to tell you the type of cardio that I don't recommend you doing, so stick around for that. The best type of cardio is either HIIT cardio, which stands for high intensity interval training, or LISS type cardio, which is low intensity steady state cardio. So basically, to know which type of cardio is best for you is depending on what you're currently doing. So for example, if you're heavy into the weight training side of things, or even strength training, I'm more into the weight training, the bodybuilding side of things, and if you're into that, then HIIT cardio is not a good idea for you. There is a very small percentage of people that can do heavy weight training sessions and HIIT cardio as well. I have known a few of those type of people before, but typically speaking, and I'm speaking for myself and again for most people, HIIT cardio is very taxing on the body. It's very difficult to do. HIIT cardio is very high intensity interval training. So you might do a 30-second all out sprint, give it everything you can, totally all out, followed by 30 seconds of rest. It's very taxing on the body, it's very taxing on the nervous system, but so is weight training. So I don't recommend the two in combination together. If you're not into weight training, or you only do a few little workouts, a few push-ups here and there, a few squats just to try and keep in shape, then HIIT cardio is going to be a really good option for you. HIIT cardio only takes anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes, so it's also very time efficient. It helps boost your testosterone and growth hormone as well, so that's good, and it will help you burn more body fat throughout the whole day. Because you've worked the muscles at such intensity in the whole body, you're going to be burning more calories throughout the day. If you're doing HIIT cardio, anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes per day is going to be good, and the type of HIIT cardio I recommend is just doing a sprint followed by a rest period. So do an absolute all-out sprint for around 20 seconds, followed by 30 seconds of rest, and depending on your fitness level you may have to change those numbers a little bit, but it is all about going all out and pushing yourself as much as you can, because obviously HIIT training is only a short period of time. Now if you're not doing any weight training, I recommend doing HIIT cardio and LISS cardio as well together. So what you would do with LISS cardio is something like walking, whether that be just a general walk for an hour, go out and do an hour's worth of walking per day. That's the way that I like to do it. You can actually go to a gym and use a treadmill. If you're using a treadmill, try to go on the incline. Most inclines are around 15% incline. Some you do get 30, but that's quite rare, at least in the gyms in my area. Most of the gyms are going to be the treadmills that go to 15% incline. But if you can get that incline higher, then you can walk on an incline on a treadmill. That's not an issue for me. I don't really like using the flat treadmill. I'd rather you just go out and have a walk. The reason is because people tend to hold on to the sides, and people also tend to go slower than they would if they was walking, because they have that fear of actually falling off the treadmill. So I don't recommend using the treadmill. If you are heavy into the weight training side of things, I just recommend the LISS training. Don't do HIIT cardio. So you can do the walking, you can use the step mill or the treadmill, and they're the type of machines that I want you to be using. That's the type of cardio that you should be doing to increase your fat loss. If you're doing the LISS training, the walking, the incline walking on the treadmill, what I want you to do is try to get 60 minutes a day. If you can do that on your lunch break at work, if you can walk to the gym instead, if you can get up 30 minutes earlier or an hour earlier and get that walk in there, or do it in the evening time when you've come home from work, I recommend 60 minutes a day. If you can get more than 60 minutes a day, then that's good as well. If you can walk for an hour or 2, 3 hours a day, then that's fine as well. Now, as I promised, the worst type of cardio that I recommend doing, and there is sort of a big thing in the industry about certain types of cardio breaking down muscle tissue, and there is no clear science on that. There's loads of arguments on both sides, and obviously the truth always lies somewhere in the middle from my experience. My recommendations are always, if you're happy to lose a little bit of muscle mass, or you don't mind, it doesn't bother you if you was to lose some muscle mass, only a small amount, the type of cardio like running, jogging, going on the elliptical machine is going to be fine for you. If that's something you're not concerned about, then go for it. If you're the person that's trying to build as much muscle as you can possibly build, then I would avoid those types of cardio, because there's a good chance that you will lose a little muscle from doing those types of cardio. The worst type of cardio that I absolutely detest is definitely sitting on the bike. So you're sitting down and you're just using your legs, and the problem is you can go for hours, and that's why it's so popular, because it's something you can just do for an hour, 2 hours, and just keep pedaling on this bike, but you're sat down, you're not doing any real exercise, you're just working the legs. You're not going to burn many calories by doing that. It's not an effective way to train. You want to be trying to use the whole body if you can. Even when you're going for a brisk walk, you can increase the intensity, you can sort of sway your arms as well whilst you're walking. And the benefit of going out and doing some walking is you can do that 7 days a week if you want to. Because it's not strenuous, you can do that every single day. One little extra bonus tip which I just thought I'd throw in there because it's really going to help you if you want to accelerate your fat loss even more, is to do fasted cardio. So if you're doing HIIT training and LISS training, you could do your HIIT training in the morning before you eat breakfast, or if you do intermittent fasting before you eat your first meal, do your HIIT training and then later do your walking. If you're doing intermittent fasting, you can even do your walk first thing in the morning, do your HIIT cardio session before you eat your first meal. Whatever cardio you decide to do, and whether you do intermittent fasting or whether you eat breakfast, I recommend you go out there and do your cardio while you've not eaten any food. One thing I do recommend is that you hydrate, so make sure you get some water in your body and then go and do your cardio session. And then once you've come back, you can then eat your first meal. Because you don't have any food in your body's going to use your body fat as energy and you'll burn more body fat.